Hello again. Today we're talking about Steppenwolf by Herman Hesse. Steppenwolf is a book that is very dense and very complex, and I feel like a lot of it went over my head if I'm being completely honest. But all at the same time, it is very surreal, very compelling, it's very beautifully written. I picked it up at all because Siddhartha is one of my favorite books of all time, and so I figured I should probably read more of this guy's stuff. And while there are some vague thematic similarities between the two books, I would say that for the most part they are completely distinct from one another. To me, what makes Siddhartha so special is its ability to convey this transcendent understanding of the world and of the universe in such a beautifully succinct way. Siddhartha as a character is kind of a blank slate of a guy. He basically just wanders around from place to place, learning valuable lessons about the world, about life, about the universe from the various people he encounters on his journey to enlightenment. Steppenwolf, on the other hand, is anything but simple. The protagonist here, Harry Holler, aka the Steppenwolf, is an extremely complicated fellow, and much of this book's length is essentially a psychoanalysis of this man and his internal struggles. There exists within him this deep, contradictory struggle between yearning for the order and safety of the bourgeoisie society, as he calls it, and a desire for freedom and living life with abandon, like a wolf, basically. At the same time, he finds this former personality superficial and stifling, and he finds the latter destructive and alienating. He's invented this duality, these two personality types for himself, both of which leave him feeling unsatisfied with life, and throughout the book he has to learn how to see past this self-imposed confinement, basically. This is a deeply philosophical book, which I think is why I felt personally like a lot of it went over my head. He's very clearly trying to explore deep concepts that I don't necessarily have a super good grasp on. There is a plot technically, but anything that happens in the actual story to me feels more like a device or a side door for Hesse to explain or expound upon some idea or another. There were still plot occurrences that I enjoyed though. I love the scene where Harry has dinner with one of his old professor buddies and just acts like a complete maniac the whole time. I loved Harry's musings as he randomly decided to follow around a funeral procession for a day. The whole ending sequence in that bizarre dance club was really weird and vividly painted, but again, the events of this novel feel almost secondary to its convictions to me, to its ideas about the world. As with Siddhartha, Hesse's interest in Eastern philosophy does shine through a good deal in this book, but in a much less overt way. It's not the primary focus of the book, but Harry Holler does grapple with a lot of those same concepts regarding the illusion of separation, time as a human construct, the infinite soul, etc. Various people are involved on Harry Holler's journey. You have Herman, Pablo, Marie, the professor, but similar to, I think, how plot is used in this book, the characters also, to me, feel more like a narrative tool for Harry to explore some aspect or another of his personality. It's genuinely unclear if certain characters are actually real or not, if they exist purely within Harry Holler's head, or if they're actual real people he's interacting with in the story. The book also talks a lot about poetry and music and the politics of 1920s Germany, and a lot of that stuff was hard for me to grasp, but it does immerse you in the world and in the time and place this book was written in an interesting way. I've seen some people say that this is a good book to read during middle age, and maybe I will better understand some of its more esoteric qualities then, but I enjoyed it regardless, and between this book and Siddhartha, it's clear to me that Herman Hesse had some sort of preternatural understanding of the universe and how it works and our place in it. And I give this book, let's see, 8 wolves out of 10.